One thing that happened when we began to see these videos in the internet, many of the people we shared it with in Colombia just said, "Oh, this is another video in the internet," and that's not true. It's only made for people to believe that it will happen, but when you go there and you buy the product, that won't work. That's a lie. And what we always thought is, this can't be a lie. We see real people on these videos and they work. It works. So we had the chance to come here and see that they really work, and it's not a lie. It's true. You can change your life when you take a decision to improve it and to rely on someone that knows how to do it. My name is Mauricio. I come from Colombia, and she's my daughter, Antonia. We are here to find some help from DBS institution, Mr. Marmaduke. Antonia has a CMT since she was 2 years old. From then on, she has been using braces on. The old braces began to be weaker each time, and her walking ability is beginning to be loosened through time. So that's why my wife, always looking for something new to do for our child, and keeps searching through the internet. She got to see one of the videos of DBS on YouTube, and she then said, "Look at this seems to be different. Maybe this can make a difference to our child." So that's why we called here. We called by phone from Colombia, and they said, "Well, you can come here anyway." They told us a little bit about the cost, because it was an important issue to take in. And then we arranged everything, and we came to California 6 months ago, and had the first interview in the casting with Mr. Marmaduke. Antonia had a great contracture in her hips and her knees. We never knew about this thing in Colombia. Nobody told us before that the contractures were so warm for her, and were getting her health away. And as we said today in one of the talks with Marmaduke, she was losing her body. She was each time less able to walk, even with the braces. So from then on, we began to work hard with the physical therapist and everyone in Colombia to try to gain less degrees of this contracture. And slowly we saw that it worked. It was working. Every degree less in Antonia, even with the old braces that we got here, it was better for her to walk. She was walking better. And one thing that was very important is that we didn't have to carry her so much. Before we began with this work of the contractures, Antonia was walking always with someone by her side, and she had to rely on her weight on this person. But from then on, everything began to work better for Antonia, and she was relying more on her ability to translate the weight to the ground. And now we are here for our 5th day. Since the first day she fit the new braces, she was hardly able to stand up. But at the end of this first day, suddenly she standed up alone, leaving her hands, and she began to make a different face and say, "Well, I can stand." So the second day it was better, and we began with the training and learning how to move her hips and how to move her arms and trying to balance. And each day it went better and better. Suddenly, with no expectation, because nobody told her to do it, she began to walk in the parallel bars, but she began to walk by herself. First, she was holding the bars, but then suddenly she began to do it without holding. And of course, it's too slow now. It's too slow for this moment, but that made a great impact to all of us. Her mama was very, in fact, she was crying, and all of us were so happy. And this was very, very important for us and make us really happy. It's a very nice feeling. And not only for us. If we see Antonia's face, muéstranos cómo te sientes, Antonia. ¿Ah? ¿Estás bien? She's very happy, really. She's very happy. And one thing that's very important, and we're telling to Mr. Marmaduke, all of our group, is that we are full of hope. He's giving us hope. All of this is giving us a lot of hope for the future. And we think that Antonia is really being able to change her life. That was one of the sentences that Marmaduke said every time when we came here. If she can make it, she can change her life. And I think she's going to change her life. And that's very nice for us because CMT is not an easy disease to deal with. It's progressive. It's harming her nerves and muscles each time. But with this new experience and with this new hope, this will stop the progression of the disease, because when she learns how to balance her body, use less energy to walk and to stand, this will slow the progression of the disease, use less her muscles and use less the nerves involved with the muscles, so everything will last more and will be better for the future. The overuse of the muscles and the nerves will stop. They will not be overused anymore. Part of the success of this week is that Mr. Marmaduke has a complete method of how she is supposed to begin to move, with different exercises on balance, picking things up from the ground, moving her hips forward, trying to gain always the exact and correct position to through the weight, through the ground, through her bones, not through her muscles. And slowly this training and all the teachings he's giving us and her, we see that they began to match day by day. And that was one thing we were saying him yesterday, that everything is beginning to match and to make us something new. And that's the result of this 5th day, where she can stand still, she can move, and everything is because she is beginning to understand all of this training. So in the first day, as I told you, she was able to stand still by her own. But then Mr. Marmaduke suddenly stand up beside her and began to hit her hips slowly, so she will be challenged to regain her stability, and it worked. And now in day 5, he was really pushing her hips, and she was standing still, never trying to fall, very good standing. And one of the good things about this that he was telling us, and it's completely true for Antonia's life, is that she will never be afraid again when she's in a crowd or in her classroom and everyone is running around, that someone accidentally would hit her or even touch her, and she says, well, I'm gonna fall down. As this confidence is beginning to grow and she is more trusting her stability, she will be less afraid of those kind of things in her life. These are the braces that Antonia have been using until this time. They are good. They're really good made, and they were really useful for Antonia. But one thing we noticed with these braces is that they will be good to one point, but she'll never improve from this point on. So as her illness is growing and her muscles are getting weaker, these braces are showing that in some time they will not be useful anymore for her. What we see of the new braces, and when we believe of the new braces, is with this shutting down of the disease and the overuse of the muscles and the nerves, she can improve. And in only 5 days, she is being able to walk on them and to manage her balance on them. We're sure that with time she will walk more fast, maybe jog a little bit, or that will give us more independence. And is one of the things, of the goals we're looking for with these new braces, so she can be more independent and go wherever she wants to. Other thing that we noticed here in the 5th day, pointed by her mother, is that Antonia seems to feel more beautiful, to be able to stand still and to free her arms and to look upright, and she's feeling beautiful. It's a new feeling for her. She's feeling beautiful. Antonia has lived 2 periods in her lives. The first period was before Marmaduke, and the second period is now after Marmaduke, but it doesn't mean post or through the braces only. What he told us 6 months ago about the contractures, and we began to work on these contractures, we saw that it began to change her life, because she was relying more on her ability to stand up still and alone than from relying her weight to someone that is beside her. And in each degree she was gaining, we saw that it was better and better still. So we can say that her life is different after Marmaduke because of these new elements that we are trying to give her, and she is really getting a lot of benefit from them. We will surely recommend this to anyone else, especially in our country and in Latin America. We know that not much people from Latin America has had this benefit in their lives, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who need it. So we're surely recommend it. We hope many people can come here and get this benefit for their lives and the lives of their children. So we really recommend it. We're really very pleased to be here and to have this opportunity.